Guess what? We are going to have a baby, another baby. Today I'm here with my husband, Dan.
Hello.
And we are going to give you a real English conversation. I know that a lot of you love these conversations. It's a great way to level up your listening skills and just have a good time with English. And we have something special today. We asked you what questions you have for us about baby number 3, and boy, oh boy, did you deliver? Ha ha ha.
Boy, oh boy, I don't know about that.
Girl, oh girl, did you deliver? We have
oh girl.
12 questions that you asked us about our third baby and our lives, and we're going to answer them starting with the category of pregnancy, then going on to birth, and then going on to life with 3 children. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Like always, I have created a free PDF worksheet, which is now covering Dan's face, that includes all of today's questions, some of the key vocabulary that you're going to see come up on the screen here, and that will help you to be able to follow our conversation. You can click on the link in the description to download that free PDF worksheet today. It is our gift to you. You are also welcome to click CC so that you can view the full subtitles for our conversation. I have these questions, but we haven't chatted about it at all. This is all just spontaneous.
Going in fresh.
Yeah, just off the cuff. So I don't know what's going to happen. I hope it will be interesting and useful to you. But if there's any vocabulary or anything that might be new for you, you can click CC and view the full subtitles. All right, are you ready to get started with the first category? Pregnancy.
I'm so ready.
Okay, well, I got a big old belly that's ready to talk about pregnancy. Let's talk about the first question, which comes from Olga.
Olga.
Well, you might or might not know that we have a name for our baby. First of all, is our baby a boy or a girl?
She's a girl.
Yes, so we have a 5-year-old boy, a 3-year-old boy, and now we're going to have a third child who's a girl. Very exciting.
Hooray.
And she has a name.
Yes. What is it?
Well, Olga's question is about that.
Oh.
She says, I love the name you chose, Matilda.
Matilda.
She said, Matilda is my favorite Roald Dahl book for children. Did you have any specific inspiration when choosing this beautiful name? Thank you, Olga. So yeah, what do you think? Did we have any inspiration for choosing this name?
No, not really. I don't know if you did, but so my process was to look at like the most popular names, the top 1,000, basically.
1,000.
Yes, I scrolled through all of them, and I just wrote down the ones that I liked, and I saw Matilda, and I thought, that's a pretty cool name, but I don't think Vanessa will like it. So I wrote down like, I don't know, 25 names, and that Vanessa does the same thing, and she writes down 2 names.
I said no to a lot of names.
She wrote down 2 names. One was Louise, and the other one was Matilda.
Yep.
And I was like, Matilda, really?
Yeah.
And I was like, why? And I don't even know if you had a good answer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is no good answer. What is your answer? Because
know.
I didn't even decide it.
I think what sold me on the name was not so much the full name, but I really like the nickname, which is Tilly. I think Matilda in English, it sounds very strong. It's not an extremely feminine name, but I feel like the nickname Tilly is very cute. This is absolutely unknown in the US. It is so unusual in the US, but
To be called Matilda.
Yeah, to be called Matilda or Tilly. I think in the US on those lists, it was like
It's in 400s.
number 400. It was not popular at all. But in the UK, Australia, a bunch of Nordic countries, it was like top 20.
Yeah.
I was so surprised. So I don't know why the US is lagging behind, but we are here
We
to
always are.
bring back Matilda. And it's a old-fashioned name. And our other kids' names are old-fashioned names.
Yeah, it definitely fits in with the other names.
Yeah, Theodore, Frederick, Matilda, and each name has like a shortened version. Theo, Freddie, Tilly. So it kind of fit the theme of our family.
Yeah, we like to have like big, bold names, and then we chop them up into smaller names that sound cute. Although I think I might call her Matilda a lot.
Yeah, we've been calling her Matilda so far.
That name has grown on me quite a bit, because at first I was like, it's really like strong. Like to Americans, it sounds really strong,
Yeah.
I think. Although most people we've talked to, they've been like, Matilda's so cute, I love it.
Yeah,
So
it's really
we've gotten
unusual.
really good reactions
Yeah.
about it. But the more I say it and the more I hear my kids say it, especially.
Oh, it's so cute when they say it.
Theo and Freddie say, "Oh, how's Matilda in there?" It's like very cute. So
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to call her Matilda.
Yeah, we'll see.
Actually, her middle name is May. So that's actually my grandma's middle name. And so we decided to take that and call her Matilda May.
Yeah, or
And-
Tilly May.
Or Tilly May.
Yeah.
So I'll probably call her all of those things.
All right, let's go on to our next question. Wafa has a question about deciding to have a third child. She said,
dear.
many families hesitate before deciding to have a third child. So was it your case? Did you have any concerns about deciding to have a third child? This is a deeper question. Did we have any concerns about having a third child?
Well, yes, for sure, both of us hesitated quite a bit. I hesitated less because in my family growing up, there were 3 of us. So actually, it's exactly the same as my family's going to be. So I have one brother and one sister. Older brother, older sister. I'm in the middle.
Younger sister.
Younger sister. And so it just seemed kind of natural to me to have 3 kids in the family. And so I was into the idea, and I would have probably been somewhat disappointed if we didn't shoot for 3.
Sure. Yeah, we talked about that.
But I would have ultimately been okay with it because, yeah, like when you take out a piece of paper and you start writing down, like, why do I want a 3rd kid? And you're like, I don't even know. Like, this is going to be a lot more work, and we're going to have a minivan forever and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and you don't have to deal with this.
Well,
so it's a lot easier
that's
for
another thing altogether. So
the man to say, oh, sure, let's have 3 kids. And
Yeah.
for me, I think there is a lot more hesitation, and I think rightly so. I want to make sure that it's a good decision for our family. I definitely hesitate more, and I think that that's very normal considering I have to be pregnant, I have to give birth, I have to breastfeed our child. There's a lot more duties on me and, run this business and take care of our other children. So there's a lot of hesitation. But in the end, I think it came down to the question of what if we chose not to? Would I feel like I was missing out on the unknown? And I think a lot of women feel this, that when they have one kid, maybe they expect that they'll have a second kid. And then the question of, am I done? Am I done having children? That's a big question, I think. A lot of moms that I know feel that really strongly. Like, am I done? Can I be okay with being done having children? How do I feel about that? And it's a really tricky question to answer and very personal. So if you have only 2 children, that can be okay for your family. Our family's choice doesn't have to be the same for everyone. So yeah, it kind of came down to, well, are we missing out on something? I don't know. Let's see.
Were you shooting for a girl at all?
You know what?
Did you think about that?
I did not think about the gender because I feel like when you decide to have a 3rd child, especially if you have 2 of the same gender, like us, we have 2 boys, you have to want a 3rd child because you're going to get a 3rd child. It can't be about just boy
Or
or
girl.
just girl.
Yeah.
For us, it was a very great, happy surprise to have a girl, but I think I would have been just as happy. Less surprised, but I think I would have been just as happy to have a boy because the idea for us was, will this 3rd child complete our family instead of will this girl complete our family? So we'll see what Matilda's like. I have no idea. I don't know if my idea of this completing our family will be correct, if we made a good decision
think it
or
will.
not. But
That's just me.
Yeah, we
cherry on top.
try to have some high hopes. All right, let's go to the next question. This question is mainly for me, but you're welcome to have any
I'll
input.
listen.
It is from Chelsea, and she says, is this pregnancy different from your pregnancy with the boys? Well, you were not pregnant with any of them, unfortunately.
Yes, very different.
I would say this pregnancy is different, but not because she's a girl. That's my guess. This pregnancy is different because it's my 3rd pregnancy, and that makes it a lot harder. So my body hurts more, my belly's a lot bigger than with them, just everything is harder because it's the 3rd pregnancy. I don't know if it's the same for everyone. I know some people have a very smooth, easy pregnancy. For me, this pregnancy is very difficult and I'm very ready for it to be finished. So that's pretty much it.
Was the morning sickness about the same though?
Yeah, I'd say morning sickness, which is when you feel nauseous during the 1st trimester. That's pretty similar.
Yeah.
I think it's just that everything happened sooner and my body hurts more in general.
I have noted that with every child, she complains about her body earlier.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, and I think that that's very possible. Like, my body is having a harder time this time, and that's normal. So yeah, anyway, it's different, it's harder, but not because she's a girl, I think. All right, let's go to the next question. Now, this was one of our most asked questions, and sometimes this question can be perceived as rude, but because I asked my students directly to ask me anything, it's okay that they asked this, but I want you to be careful when you're talking with a random person who's pregnant. Do not ask this, but now it's okay. So for those of you who asked me this question, it's okay. The question is, can you guess what it is?
was she an accident or on purpose?
That's it. That's one of the...
That's the rude way to say it.
Yeah, so Gloria asked this in a very nice way. She said, did you plan this baby or was it a surprise? So surprise is a very positive word.
That's the nice way to say it, is a surprise.
Yeah, so I'd like to explain really quick before we answer this why it can be considered rude. And it's not really because it's too personal. It's more because if you did not plan your pregnancy and you just got pregnant by accident, there's kind of a concern, maybe for me. If I got pregnant by accident, and someone said, is this an accidental pregnancy? And I said, yes, I might feel like, oh, they might think I don't love my child.
It puts you on the spot.
Yeah, it kind of feels like maybe you don't care about your child as much as someone who plans their pregnancy. So I think it can make especially the mother, feel uncomfortable. But for those of you who asked this to us, no problem. I allowed you to ask any question.
Yeah.
So
we don't have a problem with it.
Answer.
Especially because
did we plan this baby?
We always plan all children. You cannot be married to this woman and not have a plan.
Yeah, so generally I'm very careful about, I know things could always happen, but I try to be very careful about planning when we have a baby and all of those types of things. I think that that's important for the family unit, important for me. I know that your body and your life is often unpredictable, but that's just how it went for us. The next category is questions about birth and around the birth time. So our first question is from Lucas, and he says, will you give birth at home like you did with Theo and Freddie? Quick correction. I gave birth in a birth center for Theo and Freddie. So it's like a home environment, but they have all of the emergency supplies. Should your baby need oxygen, if you hemorrhage and you can't stop bleeding, they can help you with all of that. And it's a very comforting environment. It's not the hospital, but it's kind of beside the hospital. Anyway, it was a beautiful experience.
Feels like a bedroom.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bedroom, like a really nice hotel room. I feel extremely lucky that we had that available in our city. But about a year and a half ago, the birth center had to close. There was just insurance problems. It was really a big shame. I know the US doesn't have a good healthcare reputation, and this is one of the problems. So the birth center closed down and I needed to find an alternative. And we had two options. One was to go to the hospital and one was to have a home birth. Because I already had two very smooth, pretty straightforward, successful, simple births. And I feel very lucky about that. I know a lot of people have scary birth stories, but for me it was really empowering and great. Not fun, but certainly, a positive experience overall. I felt comfortable not giving birth in the hospital, so I interviewed a couple midwives who come to your house and help you as you're giving birth, and we found one that we really liked, so I've been having appointments with her. It's just like normal, really. She takes my blood, she does various tests, all of those types of things, and when she comes to the house when I'm in labor, she said she has 3 gigantic bags of all of the emergency supplies and anything that she might need to help me or the baby. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So
She seems very capable.
yeah, very capable, very
She's delivered thousands of babies.
yeah. And I think because I've given birth before, I kind of feel more comfortable with the experience in general. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We'll let you know how it turns out. All right. The next question could be more for both of us. And a lot of people asked this. Carmen, Michelle, Evangelina, and Ophelia asked, do you think Freddie and Theo will be jealous of their little sister? What do you think?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I think they're going to be just very excited to see her and be with her. And I think they won't be jealous. I think they might get frustrated if we're doing something with her and they want to play with us or talk to us or something.
Kind of part of jealousy, though. I think that's how kids can express jealousy in a way.
Oh, okay.
It's like extra anger, extra frustration.
They're just kind of like that now anyways. If we're doing something, and they want our attention, they're going to be upset about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't, jealousy?
I don't know. They've
I don't think
reacted
so.
really positively to other babies. And whenever we talk about Matilda, it's funny because you know how as adults, whenever we're near babies, your voice kind of goes up like, oh, little baby. You kind of create this like baby voice. Our kids do that too. They'll say, oh, I wonder if Matilda's going to have little cute fingers. And they have that voice too. So you can kind of tell that they are expecting her to be like a cute little plaything. I think it will become harder as she gets older and starts, grabbing their things. Like it's always growing pains, but
Yeah.
I feel like in general, it'll be okay.
Yeah, and I associate jealousy behavior with something like hitting the baby because they're upset
like
that
aggressive.
mommy's holding the baby.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be like that.
In general, what I found is that having a newborn is okay. Having a 3-year-old is the problem. So I expect that the very age-appropriate 3-year-old tantrums that our 3-year-old is experiencing now will also happen later, and it will just be harder for us because we also will have a small baby to care for. So I don't really expect it will be that much more, but it will just continue and we'll have more responsibilities, which will make it trickier for us. So yeah, that's the idea. We'll see. All right. Anna, Gualterio, and Olindo had a similar type of question. Will you have some kind of help with the kids after she's born? Olindo specifically asked about the role of grandparents because he's a grandfather. So he helps to take care of his grandkids, takes them to sports games, and this is specifically about after birth. But they asked, is it normal to have help with your kids, either paid help or grandparent help after the baby's born? So yeah, what will we do? Do we know?
I believe my mom will be here for a while, right?
We'll see how long a while is.
I don't think this is set in stone yet.
It's not.
Yeah.
So because we have other children, even if we weren't giving birth at home, even if it were at a hospital or birth center, you still need someone to take care of your kids while you're gone. So Dan's mom's going to come during the birth and probably the next day. With Theo and Freddie, with Theo, our oldest child, she stayed for like 2 weeks. And then with Freddie, she stayed less time. But in the end, I'm not exactly sure what will happen this time, but we do have several babysitters who help in our daily lives now so that I can film these videos and do my job.
And be sane.
Everyone needs help in their life. So they will also be coming to be with our oldest children and will be with the baby. So it's kind of perfect timing because she'll be born at the beginning of June. We didn't mention she's going to be born at the beginning of June.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know when, but sometime at the beginning of June.
Maybe May.
And Dan works at a school. So school will be out, which is perfect because we will both be home all summer. So for me, I feel like we can care for me and the baby. And then if someone helps to care for Theo and Freddie, that would be great. Obviously, we'll still spend time with them, but I think I am less worried about someone caring for the baby. And if you can take care of me and I take care of her and someone else takes care of them, we'll be good, right?
Right.
Yeah, we're basically asking all of our friends and family to we don't really need baby stuff. So we're asking them, if you want to give us something, please give us food. Please make a meal and we can put it in our freezer. I think that's the perfect gift. So I think we will be taken care of, I hope. Along with the idea of help and getting help, Sharon and Valentina had an interesting question that shows how not American this is. Is it expensive to have a baby in the US, and will you receive a government subsidy for a newborn baby? That's what I laughed at. So my first thought, and then you can say something about this, my first thought was, if you are already receiving government subsidies, maybe you are on welfare or you get food stamps or something like that, you will receive some kind of care, like some kind of extra subsidy or something to help you pay for baby food or something like that.
You have to be under a certain income level.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you're already receiving that, you might get something also for your baby. But for most people, the government doesn't care if you have a baby or not.
Well, you count them on your taxes, and you probably pay less taxes.
There's a little bit less taxes because you have for each child, but it's not much.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
They certainly don't give you money.
No, and they don't give, I know some countries
They don't give you time off or anything like that.
yeah, no time off. They won't give you like a package. I know some countries give like a baby package to every new family, and you get, like, it's kind of famous, I think in Norway, where they give you a baby box, and the baby box is big enough to be like a crib for a newborn. And they have like towels and swaddles and bottles and like tons of stuff for a baby. And like, I don't know, that would be amazing if someone wants to send us that. But the government does not do that.
No. Our government's more interested in making bombs.
That's the truth of the matter. So the first question was, is it expensive to have a baby in the US? It depends on what you think about money.
Yeah, it depends on, I don't know. We've just always really worked into our budget
Yeah.
child stuff. I don't think it's incredibly expensive.
So I know a couple different costs. The first one is Americans pay health insurance monthly, and that's around, I wouldn't say at the moment it's like specifically a requirement, but almost everybody has some kind of health insurance, and usually your company, if you work full time, will pay like 50% of the health care or the health insurance monthly costs. So if you work for a company, your health insurance is much cheaper than someone like us.
Yeah, we're not the best people to ask because we're self-employed.
And you get the short end of the stick, let me tell you why.
Yeah.
You got to pay the full price of health insurance. You have to find your own health insurance independently. Not fun.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, America is not known for cheap healthcare.
No.
So,
Yeah, so in general, I would say if you work for a company, you might pay like $100 a month in health insurance. If you work for yourself, you might pay between $500 and $1,000 per month in health insurance. So thinking about that is part of the costs. When we went to the birth center and for this home birth midwife that we're paying, the cost is about $6,000. So our health insurance, we pay a lot for per month. We will get reimbursed. A big chunk of that, over 50% of that, we will get reimbursed. If you have a hospital birth, I know some friends have had a hospital birth, they had a C-section, and they did not have insurance, and it cost $10,000, which is a lot of money.
it's less than I would have expected.
But that's what I thought. I thought it would be like $100,000.
Well.
And usually the hospital gives you some kind of payment plan. So you could pay like $100 every month for the rest of your life or something like that. So that's the cost that I know. I know some people who have, I don't know how expensive their insurance is monthly, but their whole birth was like $25. But maybe they're paying $500 a month in insurance.
Or
more. So it's hard to say exactly. It's a very complicated question.
Yeah.
But if you plan on having a baby in the US, save some money. Don't. Save some money and just check with your insurance company. I know some insurance companies like ours, you can't start a new insurance company if you're already pregnant. Okay, are we ready to move on to our next question?
I think we should.
Okay, the next question is also a new category. We just talked about pregnancy, then we talked about birth and around the birth time. Next is our life with 3 children. So we have a lot of people who asked the same question. Maggie, Amory, Elodie, and Lizzie all asked, dun dun dun, do you want to have another baby after Matilda? First of all, never ask a 7-month, 8-month pregnant woman if she wants another baby. That's okay. I'm just saying that as a joke. But yeah.
Don't ask her to her face.
Let's answer together on 3. Are you ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
No!
So this is it. I think I will do everything in my power, and so will Dan, to make sure that this is it. Our family is done.
Yeah, 3 feels perfect to me. I mean, obviously I grew up with 2 siblings, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I know it was already quite a push for you to go with 3, so 4 is a bit,
Yeah. If we
as close to out of the question as possible.
So the underlying feature here is, if I said in the future that, oh, guess what, we're having a 4th baby, you'll know it was not planned.
That one was an accident.
Yes, so I think 3 is good. My baby, my belly and my body is suffering a lot, so we'll stop it here.
She can finally recuperate after this.
Yes, it would be great to say, okay, now my body is mine. Kind of. I still have at least another year of taking care of a baby with my body. But, the idea that I can go to the gym, I can work out, I can try to repair my body, all of these things. And that's it. I'm not going to get pregnant again and then have to go through all that again. All right. The next one is also a big question, and a lot of people asked it. Ella, Eleonora, Jeff, Anna, and Claudia all asked, how in the world will you arrange your day between your professional duties, housekeeping, and your 3 beautiful children? I don't know.
Babysitters are pretty key. We could have a nanny, honestly, but we have good babysitters already, so.
Yeah, so as far as childcare, our oldest will be going to 1st grade. He's in kindergarten this year. He'll be going to 1st grade. Our second, he's 3. He will be going to preschool, and that's 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, 4 days a week. And the baby will be with me. And Dan will be working at our oldest's school.
Our oldest son's school.
Yeah, so he has the same hours, the same vacations.
I take him to school.
Yeah, you help to commute him to school, so that's like a good puzzle piece in our life. As far as childcare, I think the hard time comes when children are sick. Then you just have mad chaos no matter what. But so that's for childcare. I feel like when
that's also the time you work.
Yeah, when Matilda is young, like really young, she'll nap a lot, and I plan to just lower my standards. I'll still film YouTube videos. I'll still, be active in my business, but I'm not going to be making a ton of new courses and lots of new stuff over the next year.
She always does that.
I always say that, that's true. But I do have a lot of help in my business, in Speak English with Vanessa. There's about 10 or so people who participate in helping make this business run, help to edit videos, help to...
She's got a real team now.
Answer student questions, all of this, whether you know it or not. There's a lot of work that goes into making this run. So it's not just me. And I think that due to other people helping, it will continue. Right now, I am working very hard to prepare for the next 6 months. So I would love to, I'm filming a lot of YouTube videos, like 4 months worth of YouTube videos. I have a lot of things prepared in advance, and a lot of the people who are working for the business are also preparing for kind of a maternity leave. I'm still going to be doing something, but it's not going to be as busy. And it's a good thing when you get pregnant, you have 9 months to prepare. So I'm using this time to kind of prepare for the business. And I'm sure at some point Matilda will be taking less naps, she'll be sleeping less, and I'll need to have someone come a couple mornings a week to watch her so that I can do my business, which is what we do now. But I think at the beginning, we'll just take it slow, see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll have some time, especially early on, to just
Yeah.
be with our family, build
Yeah.
a new relationship with this child.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll have help via babysitters.
Yeah. One of the parts of this, it said professional duties, 3 beautiful children, and housekeeping.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why we
who
have
does
Dan.
that? Yeah, right now I'm the housekeeper.
Yeah. So at the moment, Dan does everything for the house. And that's kind of a halfway through pregnancy into the future. Who knows? Maybe Dan will always do all the household chores. Probably not. But I think that's really useful to try to help each other out when you can, especially when, like, having a third child, having a business, both of us are working part-time, but also full-time, and there's a lot going on in our lives. You just need to be there for each other, really, which,
Yeah, at least we have the robot.
oh yeah, and we have
The
about
RoboVac, I mean.
10 robots who also live in our house and do everything. Just kidding. Talking about us, though, we have one bonus question, but before we get to the bonus question, Edita has a question about us. She
Yes.
said, how can you keep up your relationship with each other when you have 3 children?
We don't know yet.
How do you do it when you have 1 child or 2 children?
Well, anytime you have a toddler in the house, it gets pretty difficult. Let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
I feel like
Because by the end of the day, you're like, I'm done.
I'm so tired.
We don't have time to work out our problems. It's like, can
Yeah.
I just pass out now?
Yeah, I think anyone who has kids, period, realizes that there's a big extra effort that you have to put into your relationship to
Yes.
like just find the energy for each other. And I think we try to do that. We don't always succeed, but
Well,
trying to find some time for each other is good.
a big thing for us is that we have a couples therapist that we see every week or every other week or so.
Yeah.
And so that really helps us check in with each other.
Yeah.
And having a middleman there really helps, being like, hey, how do I really feel right now?
Yeah. Highly
so-
recommend talking with a couples therapist for anyone who is in a relationship. You don't have to be on the brink of divorce to go see a
You don't
therapist.
have to wait till then.
No, do not wait till then. I know when we started meeting with him, we were like, yeah, you know, our relationship has like normal problems, but it's not like disastrous. And it's been so helpful for us. Like, you don't have to be
Very eye-opening.
at the very end of your relationship to do that. So I think that's been like, it's helped us to understand each other better. And also all of these big life changes, it's like a teacher. You have a teacher kind of guiding you through that, because I don't know, we don't really live in a culture where you have like great-grandparents and grandparents and parents all living together, helping with your life a lot and teaching you about how to do different things. So having a professional give you some insight and ask the hard questions, yeah, that's been really helpful for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend.
We also occasionally go on a date. So,
Yeah, I think whenever we
Yeah.
get a chance to go out to lunch or drop the children off at Dan's parents' house for a couple days, like we're going to do that next week.
yes.
And it feels so refreshing. And I think just try to take those chances when you can. Don't feel guilty about enjoying spending time away from your children. First of all, your children need other people in their lives, not just you. They need grandparents, they need babysitters, they need a community, not just their parents. So it's good for us, but it's also good for them, I think, too. All right, we have one final question. It is a bonus question. Are you ready?
Bonus.
Yes. All right, well, we've talked a lot about our experiences and our lives, but Ava has a great question. Ava says, do you have any recommendations for someone who's pregnant for the first time? Well, we're not the world's foremost experts, but, you know, we've gone through this a couple times.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I think you're an expert.
I think if you've gone through pregnancy one time, all of a sudden you have so much more experience, and then 2 times, and then 3 times.
Well, Does she mean like actually the pregnancy part, or?
Yeah, I would say
Because you're a better person to answer
pregnancy,
that
the
part.
mindset, the like your relationship, all of that stuff. I think we could take this question in many directions.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you have time to spend with your partner, for one. I hope the partner's there. That's pretty key. Having somebody who's really your support person
Yeah.
is extremely important. So even if the partner's not in the picture, then you're going to need somebody
Yeah.
who's like super committed to being with you during
Yeah.
that time. So
I think that's a good starting place is
yeah.
having, well, if you're already pregnant, it's too late.
Yeah.
But choosing
Let's turn the chapter back a little bit. Find the right person to get pregnant with.
choosing someone who you like and having kids with them. I know like when one of my friends was thinking about having a baby, she's like, I just don't know when the right time is. And I was like, yeah, maybe there's some times that are better than other times, but the biggest question is he the right person?
Yeah.
Because it's never going to be a perfect time to get pregnant. But if you're with the person that you want to be with, in the end, it will work out. Yes, sometimes will be harder than others. But I think the first question is who? And I would say the second thing is a lot of women who are pregnant for the first time, it's very normal. I was like this too. Do a lot of research and feel a lot more anxious about their first child, especially for us compared to number 2 and number 3. It's not that they are neglected. It's just you're more realistic about what your life is going to be like. So I would say talk to other people who have 2 or 3 children or more when you're pregnant with your first child, because I think it helps to give some perspective when you're worried about, well, is this type of dish or washing detergent. I know like new mothers sometimes think I need to wash my baby's clothes in this specific type of soap or this, like those little things that can really stress you out. Talking to someone who's had more children, just chit-chatting with them, or even if I know there's some great YouTube channels of parents who have like 11 children. Don't look at like the crazy ones. Look at people who seem like pretty normal still. And it can be really grounding to see their kind of advice where like we're thinking about, oh, okay, we have 2 boys and then a baby girl. Are they all going to sleep in the same room? What are they going to do? Like we have 3 kids, so we have kind of a lot of experience. But when you hear about someone who has 6 or 7 children and you see their life living situations, it kind of helps give you more perspective. So you feel not anxious about everything. Yeah, there's some things that are worth spending a lot of time on, but in general, I think that can help give you good perspective. A little tip that I'm just learning now is
a little late,
but it's not too late yet. There's a very interesting book called The Fourth Trimester, and a lot of talk when you have a baby is how to take care of the baby. What do you do with the baby? But a lot of the focus goes off of you. When you're pregnant, it's like, oh, your belly, oh, the mom. But then when you have the baby, a lot of the focus is on the baby. So this book focuses on how to take care of yourself. And I guess the spoiler is that you don't take care of yourself. You have other people helping to take care of you. And you kind of set up
You need your pamper people.
Yes, you set up your life so that the first couple months after birth, you are taken care of. Because it can be a really big shock. It is going to be a big shock starting your life as a mother. And so I think this book would be extremely helpful to a third-time mother or a first-time mother to help you be able to be your best self so that you can come out of the first 3 months of having a baby and you feel stronger, you feel more capable, and you feel like ready for starting that new part of your life. Or I feel like that book would have been very helpful to me. Maybe you live in a culture that really takes care of new mothers. We don't. So I think the ideas in this book were really helpful to me. So anyway, that's my advice.
I think I have another tip.
Oh, okay.
First time mother,
Yeah,
you should go to a birth class.
definitely.
Yeah, because we went to a class together that kind of...
Go together, yes.
Yes, make sure you bring your partner, your support person.
Yes.
And yeah, they just went over all the different things you can do to not basically freak out and, help the person through it, what all the different signs are during the labor, so you're not totally surprised. And I probably need a refresher. Last time with Freddie, our second child, I just read the paper over and I was like, oh yeah, those are the good tips. And so I was more prepared.
Yeah. And he just came so fast that there's no time to think.
But with your first, it will probably take a lot longer. So it's good to be very prepared, especially the husbands out there or partners of various shapes and sizes and forms. Take a birth class with your wife or partner. And you need to be prepared too.
Yeah, I think that kind of sets you up for the birth, but it sets you up for being parents together. Because a lot of moms will have a pregnancy app on their phone. I remember the first day of that pregnancy or the birth class, the teacher asked us, so who has a pregnancy app on your phone? All of the women raised their hands and they said, okay, guys, which one of you have a pregnancy app on your phone? And none of the men raised their hands. So if you're the one who's not pregnant, doing a birth class together or, just even having a day where you go over some birth articles or watch a couple birth videos together, those types of things, it sets you up to be partners with your baby. It's not just the mom's duty. There's a lot that is on the mom that the mom has to do and the other person can't do. But in general, that mindset that you're in this together is really important. So that was a good tip.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Well, thank you so much for asking your pressing questions about our third baby. If you enjoyed this conversation, we did have a conversation about polite and rude questions that you can ask someone who's pregnant. When I was pregnant with my first child 6 years ago. And you can watch that video up here. And that will just kind of expand your cultural knowledge, but also vocabulary about talking about babies and pregnancy in English. Well, thank you so much, Dan, for joining me.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed our spontaneous conversation. A lot came up, a lot of great vocabulary and ideas, and I hope that you could expand your English knowledge. Like always, you're welcome to download the free PDF worksheet that goes along with this conversation. All of the vocabulary, ideas, sample sentences, anything that came up, you can download in that free worksheet. It is our gift to you to help you be able to empower yourself with English and birth.
Yes.
Well, thanks so much for learning English with me and Dan.
And me.
And we'll see you again next Friday for a new lesson here on my YouTube channel. Bye.
Bye.
But wait! Do you want more? I recommend watching this video next, which is the one I just mentioned, where you will learn the top polite and rude questions that you should never ask someone who's pregnant. Make sure that you are polite and you are kind to the people around you. Watch that video to find out what they are, and I'll see you there.